data sets and distribution, estimate center using histogram. Okay, the histogram summarizes the distance of each vehicle using NAM's gas station that he's driven. So this is the number of vehicles. This is the actual distance. So we want to figure out what is the typical distance the vehicle has driven. So is it 100 to 150? Is it 200 to 250? Is it 250 to 300? So what is the typical distance? So right here, if we actually look at the graph here, this has a height of 3. This is a height of 4. This is a height of 5. And this is 6. This is a height of 3. And this is actually a height of 2. So we want to figure out, what number would basically be in the middle here. So it looks like, this right here would be in the middle here. So it looks like we're starting at 100 to possibly 150. That would be our best choice because 200 250 brings us too far over to the right, and 250 to 300 brings us way over. So I believe A would be a better choice. A librarian surveyed the number of students about how long they spend reading after school on the previous day. Which the following graph represents the students who typically spend between 1.5 hours and 2 hours. So we want to figure out the total number that spends between 1.5 and 2 hours. So 1.5 and 2 hours. So which one typically spends the most there? So right here, this would be the graph of it right there. So let's see what the next choice would be. So right here, this would be the 1.5 and 2 here, and this would be the 1.5 and the 2 there. So looking at this, we want the emphasis to be on the 1.5 and 2. So which one would be better results for it? So the better one, I believe, would be B because it's taller. The histogram summarizes the mass of each pumpkin in Leonard's patch. So these are number of pumpkins. This is the mass. What is the typical mass of the pumpkins? Well, let's take a look. This one is at 4. This is between 4 and 6, which is 5. This is 8. This would be 6. And this would be 2. So we want the typical mass. So we want something in the middle here. So it looks like the typical one would be 6 and 9. Because 0 and 3 is too far to the left. 6 and 9 is in the middle where we want it to be. 12 and 15 is too far to the right. Principal Chikama weighed the book bags of a sample of a middle school student. Which of the following graph represents a grade where the student's bag have a typical weight and height about 5 kilos? So we want this 5 kilos to be emphasized. So right here, it's really not too much in the middle there. Here it is. Here it's the tallest. It's more emphasized than the first graph. So we really want it to stick out. Here, I don't think this would be a very good choice because again, it's all leveled with the 10 and the 12. They're at the same height. So we really want the 4 to 6 range to really stick out. So the best choice here would be B, because again it towers over the rest. This one it's below it. This one is definitely between 4 and 6 is the highest, and here 4 and 6 is the same as 10 and 12.